Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Community Central. Thank you all for being such an amazing community. Thank you all for your support, your comments, likes. Do continue to like and share the page. Community Central, as always, aims to educate, inspire, and support you as well. We would like to thank our supporters, the Indian Academy, for always supporting this initiative. Now, we always aim to bring you somebody very unique. And like so, we have Charul today. So please join me in welcoming her.
Hi, Caroline. Hello, everyone. Such a delight being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Charul, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do? What brought you to Dubai?
Wow. We might need a few hours for that for sure. But like I say, I'll give you a crash course on who I am and my journey briefly. So I'm an Indian born, but truly a global citizen. I think so far, who was counting, but perhaps 30 plus countries that I've traveled or studied in or worked in or lived in. And I think there's so much to explore and do in this beautiful world, right? Started my journey as a hotelier. Flew as a cabin crew when I was younger. And I'm sure, Caroline, you're getting to know a few things about me today. Yeah?
Yes,
Surprise.
yes,
Surprise.
indeed.
So, yeah, flew as a crew, found myself traveling to the Caribbean on an island called Curacao. It's a beautiful, small little island with 100,000 people. Um, my family was very happy for me, but not very happy because back in the day, it would take you 3 days to make it to Mumbai. It was just so far. It is below South America. It's a little dot. It's a tiny island. So yeah, that's when Dubai happened to me. So I've been a very happy resident of Dubai for, I'd like to believe, over 17 years, give or take. Yeah, and my journey in terms of my career and profession was, from hotelier to crew, to human resources, recruitment, and eventually found myself as a global head of human capital for a strategy consulting house. We were a 15,000 employee strength with 30 countries operation. So quite a hectic role. Really enjoyed it. And 16, 17 is when, when they say, something inside you switches, something triggers for you to look deeper and understand what it is that you will find true passion doing, right? And that's when, I took a little bit of a detour in my career, and me and my partner, we set up our business called Matiti Group. I'll take a pause at that and let you ask me questions.
Now, Matiti Group, which was coming to my next question.
Yeah.
What is Matiti Group?
Yeah, it's I'm so happy that you asked that question, Caroline, because the idea of having that name was that people stop and ask you. And then, there is an opportunity to break the ice right there, right? So when me and my partner, we were looking at setting up the business, and while I share my story, I hope it's a reason for inspiration and a little bit of thought for anybody who's looking at naming their project or starting something new, right? And what we wanted to do was we wanted to go old school. So if there are listeners here who are from India, they would know Sanskrit, which is our primitive language, right? And we wanted to go old school, and we wanted to look a name in Sanskrit. We looked and we looked, and the name had to align with our vision about our business. Couldn't find anything. And we're like, okay, we've traveled enough. Let's look at other parts of the world. And we found ourselves in New Zealand. So New Zealand has a language called Maori. which is what Sanskrit is to us. And in Maori, we found this word matiti, and it means a grid. So you connect the dots. And why connecting the dots? Because the view that we had about our business, and I'll take a moment to just share, the thought process behind setting up our business was to enable organizations, right? When you set up a business as the CEO, as the MD, or as the owner, you know your work very well. You know what you want your business to do. But every now and then, as you expand, as you grow, as you mature, as you diversify, you need that little push. You need that support, external support that enables you in your journey. So we in Matiti are those enablers. And if you look at enabling an organization in today's day and age, people, of course, has always been very important. Technology, we will not be here if it was not for technology. Data security, so cyber forensic, sustainability, which is extremely, extremely essential. I think we have learned our lessons as humanity, right? And there are a few other aspects of financing, right? So we wanted to become a one-stop shop for our clients to enable them in each of these aspects of their operation. And hence, our business diversified into 6 verticals, which if you're okay, then I'll talk about now, or I can pause.
No,
Should I go
please go ahead. Yes, please.
ahead? Okay, okay. So look, like I was sharing a while back, my background is in human capital, right? So when I jumped into the business, I set up the vertical called Matiti People. So as the word says, it's all about people. Now, in the past, we were doing, certain things which were very needed at the time, which is talent hunting, competence mapping, alignment with the strategy, human capital strategy, very fantastic things. But I think in the last 2 years, the companies have become very mature. COVID or no COVID, a lot has transformed. So now we're doing very interesting work in diversity and inclusion, mental health, employee well-being, leadership coaching and development, all which is very, very close to my heart. So I think, we paid the price of COVID, but there's so much good that has come out. The other aspect is technology, which is Matiti Tech. So as the word says, we do technology in that piece. So we develop and we deploy AI and blockchain related interventions for organizations, depending on where in their journey they are. Very quickly, the third vertical, which we set up, which is again my baby, it is called Matiti Green. And I think we'll come and talk more about it in a bit. It is our
Yes.
sustainability vertical. I see that smile on your face as soon as I say um, and then as we continue to grow our business, Caroline, we went into, like I was saying earlier, cyber forensics. So that's activity network. So we enable governments, semi-government entities, private entities in data security, forensic, and all of that. Banks are big clients. We have Matiti Meds, which is a medical arm. So you're talking about the PPE equipment and vaccines now and all of those gear that keeps us alive and safe. And the last vertical for us is Matiti Finance, in which we look at supporting, trade and startup funding capital. So yeah, 6 verticals and many more to go.
It's fantastic. I mean, it is truly a one-stop shop for any organization looking to grow.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, very true to its vision. Now, the vertical of Matiti Green.
Yes.
That intrigues me
Mhm.
completely. Do tell us more about that.
Okay, so there's a little bit of a backstory to this, right? So when we were doing people and technology work with our clients, and this is in the last 2.5, 3 years, right? When you have like a project end handover meeting, you're sitting with leadership, you're sitting with board members, and people started to, and this was I would say the market's becoming mature. So people started talking to us about business continuity, about giving back to communities, about the impact on environment. So at that time, we saw that as a business opportunity, and we are like, we have to organically diversify into a sustainability or a green vertical, so we, sustain our clients and support them with this. So we did. We did sector specific work when we started. And the reason I'm sharing all of this, because our listeners today who are, young budding millionaires and CEOs of the future, I want them to understand the realistic side of the story, because big projects are not built overnight. And if anybody says that, I need to speak to them and they should speak to them. Everything starts with a thought, and then you groom that thought, you nourish that thought, and you kind of make it into something which is a unicorn idea, right? So when we started, we were doing for event companies, like Coca-Cola Arena venues rather, helping them reduce plastic consumption. So we would provide them biodegradable tableware, which was made out of sugarcane molasses. So, they would take away the cups and the plates and the spoons and use this, right? We worked with some government entities in agriculture, and we helped them with biodegradable pesticide, which means if it's sprayed on the vegetable, it's not harmful for the consumer, and at the same time, it's not going to affect the biodiversity of the soil, right? And we realized that this is to help the product and the operation. It's not doing what our vision with green was, which is to drive and build a culture of sustainability in organizations. So we looked left and right, top to down, what to do, and then our answer was trees. Because what we're doing, Caroline, with trees is, no matter how big your organization is, no matter what sector you are in, no matter where you are located in terms of geography, everybody, by adopting the trees that we plant, can start their journey in sustainability. And we do it beautifully. We leverage AI and blockchain. So it's, in today's day and age, everything is about access, about transparency, right? So our project is not about going into the mud, getting your hands dirty, which I agree is fun. But if you look back in history, up until few years back, it was a one-time exercise for a family or for students or for clients or employees. You go, you do all that, you put some seeds in the soil, you take pictures with the farmer, and you post it on social media, and khali wali, that's it, right? So what we do, Caroline, is we're taking it all the 9 yards after that. So we meet the 3 UN SDGs, wherein we are supporting the air quality purification. We are supporting female diversity in terms of the so-called classified poor families in terms of employment. And then we're talking about giving livelihoods to people who are in a certain bracket of earnings per month in a country like India or wherever. So our platform, what it does is, so we have leveraged, if kids are listening, I want them to get excited. So we are leveraging blockchain, and we are leveraging artificial intelligence. And this is all the exciting stuff. So the NGO plants the tree, and you just log in as a user. And if you have adopted, let's say, 100 trees, you will see 100 unique QR codes in your dashboard. You click on a QR code. With the satellite integration that we have, you can actually visit the location of the tree. Click of a button, device of your choice, from your bedroom, from your living room, from your classroom, you can visit the tree. As soon as you visit the tree, you can name the tree after yourself, after your mom, after your teacher, whatever, right? Now you've named the tree feels yours, and now you want to read about the tree. Yeah. So there is information about the species of the tree, the NGO, which is taking care of the tree, the farmer, which is planting and watering the tree every day. You can click off a button, see how much CO2 is sequestered as of that day when you log in. So every time you log in, it will show you how much CO2 your tree has sequestered. You can monitor the growth. So you'll see the sapling going up, and it will say, okay, these many centimeters today. So you can see how tall is your tree grown. And the most exciting part, like that brings out the child in me, is our AI enabled chatbot. So I mean, who can speak to the tree? I think we need some superpowers for that. But we're trying to bring that experience to kids and to users. So there's an AI chatbot, and as you know, artificial intelligence, it gets better Every time somebody talks to it, it learns and it gets better. So we are in a good place now. So you ask the tree about who are the friends. So it will tell you about the farmer who's taking care, about the other trees around. You ask if you have any enemies. So it will talk about the pests and rodents and all of those things. And you can ask it a joke. It will tell you a tree joke. It's really cool and people enjoy it. I'm going to pause because otherwise we'll be here all night.
No, it's very interactive, and that's what we want to do. I mean, everyone loves planting and gardening, but then what? But if you have
Yes.
something so interactive as this, it's very exciting for children to get into it.
Yes. Yes. So
And
I'm sorry, Caroline, go ahead.
it becomes more of a game for them to see how it is, something to
Ye-
discuss with your friends, how much CO2 did yours emit, or how
Yeah.
tall is your tree.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic for children.
No, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to share this because you brought this up. So, once the trees are planted, and let's say Caroline, or let's say the Indian Academy adopts 1,000 trees, right? So, once you adopt those trees, now these trees are in your dashboard. And now there's another journey that begins there. So, all the cool things that I told you about you having access to the tree and the data and all of that, you can do that, but you can give this experience to another person, which is called tree gifting experience. So you can then go and gift these trees to whoever you wish to gift. So we have our customers who are gifting it to employees on their birthdays. They're doing it for employees on their work anniversaries, during Eid, Diwali, New Year, Christmas. We had so many trees which were gifted to people around the world. Another exciting thing which one of the client is doing, we are under NDA, otherwise I'll take the names, but we have the likes of Microsoft, Facebook, Shell, PNB, Procter and Gamble. They're all on board, right? And one of the clients, what they did was, which is very exciting, they tied it up with their grading structure during performance review process. So if I get 5 on 5, I get, let's say, 50 trees. If the other person gets 4, they'll get 40 trees, for example. And with that, they had a very healthy competition, and they created tree champions in the organization. And each department would have a nominated tree champion every quarter. And people would read about. So now, when you're talking about 50 trees, as of today, we planted over 100 species of tree, Caroline, in 13 countries, and this will continue to grow. So when they get these gifts, these are trees from different other parts of the world. So they're reading about the species of the tree. They're getting to know about the NGO. They're understanding how it's impacting the environment, how many families are being impacted. So with that, we do a quiz internally, right, about the species of the tree. And then if you go back to the drawing board, when I started sharing the story about green, the idea was to enable a culture of sustainability. And if you see, with this kind of engagement, with this kind of access to information, with this kind of positive engagement with students, with employees, with customers, it brings them back to the tree. It brings them back to sustainability, and it starts to become a way of life. Have you spoken to your tree in the last 7 days? Oh, how is your tree doing? Have you spoken to the farmer? You start to establish that connect. And when that happens, Caroline, that's a win for us.
No, but I think it's an absolutely spot on initiative. Definitely something that is investing in the future, and it's engaging, it's fun.
Yes, yes,
You
it
know, a
is.
lot of initiatives are one time things, like you said. I myself had planted a tree, but I don't even know if it still exists anymore. I don't
There
know.
you
I don't remember.
go.
It's
Yeah,
true. I did. I was very excited to plant it, and I said, I'm going to come and visit it, but I never went back to it.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was something we did as a school initiative, but that's it. I have no idea if that tree still exists. I would
yeah,
like to know, but I don't. But this is very engaging. This is something that children can continuously keep a tab on. It grows with them.
yeah. Absolutely. There you go. Right, and it becomes like a family tree, or it becomes. So we have a calibration. So if you plant 1,000 trees in one location, we call it a forest, because then it's in one location. And when you actually visit the forest, you'll see those 1,000 pins on from the satellite map of those trees, right? And what we're doing, Caroline, with a lot of e-learning platforms, with a lot of e-schools, they're very excited, and we are in very advanced conversations where they are using these trees as gifting experience and as rewards experience for their students. So when you complete a course, yeah, and let's say depending on what the model is of the platform, they're utilizing these trees to be gifted to students for them to start to engage with the project. So yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, me too. And I'm looking forward to working with the children and you together to see what we can do.
Absolutely, I'm here for any further conversation. There you go.
Now, Charul, you are widely, with all that you do, you have so much expertise, especially with HR as a career that you have taken for many years.
Yeah.
What motivates you to pick yourself up day after day? Everyone has their days where they feel down, as motivated and as positive. There are always bumps in the road. What keeps you motivated?
I think I'll be lying if I say there are not gray days in my life, right? And I'd like to challenge anybody who says they don't, right?
Right?
Um, I think what's important is there are a few things I'll share, right? And I'm really, this is heart to heart talk, right? This is not a speech prepared in my head, but I'm genuinely sharing what I really practice. So I'm preaching what I practice. So it's tried and tested evidence. It will work, believe me. So few things. One is, if you feel low, let it happen. Don't fight it. So it's good. Let's break it down. Acknowledge, yeah, acknowledge that down moment, acknowledge that fear, acknowledge that anxiety, whatever it is that is causing you to feel like that. Once you acknowledge, become aware that when I feel like that, how am I responding? What is my mood? What's my body language? Am I talking poorly to my parents? Am I, snubbing my teachers and my friends? Am I ignoring my work? Is it affecting my performance? Become aware. So we have acknowledged, we have become aware. The third thing is to observe, right? When others go through a similar problem, how are they responding? I'm sure there will be those unicorns in the class or in your life, your idols who you look up to, your mom, dad, teacher. When do you ever see them down? And if they're down, how do they pick themselves up, right? So you have acknowledged, you have become aware, you have observed, right? When you've done all of that, apply. Because it's all nice and good to observe somebody and praise them for what they do, but it's still not doing you any good, right? You have to apply it. So you have to apply it in your life, right? And the fifth and the most important, because a lot of us at the fragile age that we are as students, I mean, I'd like to believe I'm still a student, and I'm sure, Caroline, so are you, right?
Yeah.
Ask for help. There's enough and more help, so ask for help, reach out for help. Nobody will or should think less or small of themselves when asking for help. And I wish when I was smaller I received a lot of this advice, which perhaps I did, but from different sources and not at the same time. But it's important. We are growing up. We will make mistakes, and like I say, to even leaders when I'm doing leadership coaching, failing is a part of learning. Learning was not supposed to be this. Learning is supposed to be, it's supposed to be like this, right? So if you are hitting those bottoms, or when your journey is not at its peak, just know that if it's here, the only other way is this, right? So if you're going that way, then imagine you're going to bounce back even stronger and higher. So enjoy that learning, enjoy that immersion, so that you bounce back stronger. So yeah,
Of course.
just few tips on that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that is very rightly said. Everyone says hitting rock bottom is the worst thing, but it the silver lining to that is the only way is up. And if you focus enough, you can just keep rising higher.
Yeah, yeah. You just remind me by saying rock bottom, you reminded me of a saying. I'm trying to think who said it. I can't remember the author now, but something that I live by, right? And this author, it's a lady. Maybe her name will come to me in a moment. She said, when you hit the rock bottom, right? Just know that you found something solid inside.
There you go.
When you hit rock bottom, what is rock bottom? That means something is really solid inside, right? So if
Yeah,
you hit your rock bottom, just know that you have found something really solid inside. So there's something to explore. There's nothing to lose there.
exactly. There's nothing to lose. So you have everything to gain from there. And
Absolutely.
I absolutely go by that as well. Now we've been through the business side of Charul, but
Yeah.
there's also a glamorous side of Charul, who
Yeah.
has recently won a very, very prestigious crown.
Yes. Yes.
Please tell us about that journey.
Ah, okay. Thank you, Caroline. That brings a twinkle in my eye. It's very recent to everybody who is listening. So I won the crown of Mrs. UAE International. This was an event which was held in Dubai on the 10th and 11th of December 2021. So a little over a month back. And how it happened is a bittersweet experience, is a bittersweet story, right? So there was, and I think it's good that we bring it up, and I feel very encouraged to very openly share and talk about it because um, I think it's a responsibility if you have a voice to share your experience for the benefit of other, because many a times we don't know what the audience behind this black screen is going through, right? And
Exactly.
like I say, if even one person, one out of you today or in your life can reflect back at this moment and benefit from it, I would believe that my story was worth the while. So yeah, it was a health scare, Caroline. It was around June, July last year, 21, where I wasn't well, and we had to go through a series of tests and whatnot. And one thing led to another, and the last thing I found was that I had to, on an emergency, medical emergency, board a plane and be in Mumbai with my family doctor to confirm the tentative diagnosis that the doctors here in Dubai gave, which kind of was life threatening at the time. And while all this was happening, the pageant team got in touch with me. It was like running in parallel, this story. At that time, it looked funny, but now when I look back, I know why it was happening that way. So the pageant team got in touch with me and they said, "Ma'am, we'd like for you to consider applying for this event, which will happen in a couple of months." Um, so I obviously, advised them that I'm on a personal emergency and I will be in touch in a couple of weeks. I landed in Mumbai, and the expectation and the hope that I had was, whatever it is, we'll get it sorted, and in week 10 days I will be back, right? But life had different plans. So I found myself in an operation theater with 8 hours or longer surgery. A lot had to be taken care of. Nothing to fear about. I'm hale and hearty. I'm sitting in front of you. But I think I had to go through that. If I look at the brighter side of things, which I choose to look at now, what I've gone through will allow me to live healthier and longer, in times to come. So whatever had to be dealt with was dealt with. It was gynec related issues, which had become very complex. And I remember I was lying on the bed one day with, all those drips and different things going on, and the monitor beeping on my head, lying on the bed, and my phone was ringing, and this was the pageant team. And I remember my husband sitting on the side, and I was like, I can't even stand on my feet right now. They think I'm going to walk a ramp. And we both laughed, and we just did not answer the call. Fast forward 2 months from then. So I was in India for a good 6 weeks because, there was a lot of follow ups and tests and stuff. And the doctor had told me that 2 months is critical. as post-op recovery. So by the end of 2 months, I was already in Dubai. So when the time came, we ran all the tests. I was very careful, and I think it's important that we follow the doctor's advice and do care as is needed by the body, slow ourselves down. So we did all of that, and my reports were fantastic. So it was all worth the while. And I remember asking my dog, because I'm a yoga enthusiast. I just love my Surya Namaskars in the morning and the breathing exercises, walks by the beach, cycling. I love all of that. And I was told to not do anything. They just asked me to walk around the house a little bit if I felt like it. So, it was that slower life. So I remember after 2 months when I called the doc and the reports were good, I was like, can I now swim or go do my yoga? And he's like, touch wood, your reports are so good. If you wanted to go participate in gymnastic now, I will not say no. I was like, yes. Within 24 hours of that, my phone rings again, and that was the pageant team. And I was like, oh, this is a sign. My doctor just allowed me, and these guys are, really keen on me kind of pursuing this. So I was like, you know what? And this is what I want to drive home right now to the listeners. I did not I did not is a wrong word. I explored this experience because I wanted to feel good. I explored this competition because I wanted to get even with the time I lost, grieving my personal health situation and going through the pain. So I did it for myself with no expectations, with no pressure on myself for winning, nothing. And I am not a person like that. So there was a huge learning for me there. And yeah, so I I got into the competition, Caroline, 2 weeks before, and the other finalists were already in for 3 or 4 months. So they did their shoots and dress rehearsals and ramp walks and talent round preparations. And here I was looking at them, thinking, "Oh my God, have I made a mistake?" Uh, so every day I would just kind of, push myself a bit further, push myself positively, not burning out, but positively pushing myself. And yeah, fast forward 10th of December, there was a talent round, and everybody had prepared, acts and, monologues and dances. And what I did was funny. This is the first time I did it. I wrote a poem. I wrote a poem about my journey into the competition. And not only did it give me a lot of satisfaction putting it out there, but to my surprise, I got a standing ovation. People really liked it, right? And the following day was the question and answer round and lots of other things. And I came back home with a crown on my head. So I know. Uh, I mean, winning it like this has given me so much joy at an inner level. It's difficult to express in words.
Well, we are very proud of your journey and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm sure many can learn from your journey and from all that you do.
Yeah, I hope so, Caroline. And I think it's a life well lived when you can share. A lot of people can donate money for a cause. A lot of people can write a book and put it on the shelf, right? But I think for me, it's the connection. For me, it's about, connecting with Caroline today or connecting with whoever is in the audience right now. And if I can make that one-on-one connection and for them to remember anything out of this whole, half an hour of discussion, I think that's for me the, when you tick the value box, that's when it ticks the box. So I really, really sincerely hope that those who needed to hear this, it reaches them today.
And I hope so too. Do you have any advice for all the children watching today and who will be watching in the future?
Yeah, quite a few of them. I'll choose wisely. So, yeah, I think one is don't be fearful of exploring life. Yeah. Uh, When I say don't be fearful, that does not mean that, you start to risk your life and take chances. It's a calculated risk. It's after research and, of course, approval from your teachers, or your family or your siblings. But just know life is to be explored and lived. Yeah, so do that. The second is, like I was saying, just remember, failing is okay. Failing is a part of learning. So if you fail, that's not the end of the road. Third, for me, it's simplicity. And given the crown that I carry now, I try and drive this, that there is a beautiful sophistication and simplicity. So, when I say simplicity, it's not about how much makeup I put on or how I do my hair. It's about simplicity in your thoughts, simplicity in your actions, simplicity in which you gracefully accept the highs and the lows of life, right? So stay grounded, stay simple. And it's a little bit heavy, but nowadays kids are smarter than when we were 8 or 10. So I'll
Yes.
say it. Um, when you give, when you doubt your power, you give power to doubts.
Right.
So just know that each one of us have been blessed with many powers, right? Now, I don't say you wear a Superman cape and jump from your balcony and try that. That's not what I'm trying to say. When I say superpower, like I have recognized that my superpower is public speaking, right? And there are many public speakers out there. I don't have to be like or unlike anybody. I have to be myself. That's my superpower. Caroline, you doing what you do with events with kids, that's your superpower. And look, as soon as I said kid and events, your eyes lit up, right? Similarly, and the superpower, when I say, does not have to be something that changes the world or, eradicates a national problem, because that's how the media makes us believe. Your superpower can touch a single person in a lifetime, or a few people, through your acts of kindness and through your acts of superpower. And that's enough. We were not here to, bring about a change in the era or the change in the society. I mean, when we get to that, we get to that. But start small, start simple, but just keep at it. There will be days when you will be knocked down. There will be days when you will be challenged. There will be days when, your own people will doubt your credibility, question your decisions. uh, don't fight it, understand it. And everything that I said, about analyzing, becoming aware, observing, implementing, and then also asking for help, you use that toolkit, use those measures, and I promise you will emerge stronger.
So, with those very powerful words, I would really, really like to thank you for your time, for your expertise, and for your heart to heart advice and conversation.
Thank you so much, Caroline. It's been an absolute pleasure. For kids, if you ask me to stand on my head and talk, I will do that. So, no, it's been amazing. Thank you for inviting me. And if there was a way, I would love to hear back from students if they had questions, if they wanted to expand on anything further. I'm raising my hand. I'm here. Please reach out. You will find me on different social handles. Would you share my social handles
I
with
will.
yes, so they can find me and reach out? Okay.
Fantastic. And we will definitely connect with you and the students.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Lots of love, a big warm hug, heartfelt hug, and enjoy this age, enjoy your education, and enjoy Caroline and her podcast, which is really amazing. Thank you, and
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you. Bye. Well, that was the very enthusiastic, s- simple, and fantastic, Charul. Thank you all for being a part of our community. Again, do like, share, follow. There's such beautiful advice and such powerful human beings here that you could learn so much from and connect with. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.